Hi, this is Nahid, and welcome back to our growth series. To just give you a quick review, everything we're doing is informed by this guiding question. If we're smart and capable, and we have the freedom to create any life we want for ourselves, why are so many people stuck and unhappy? Well, there has to be something in the way. And that led to my mission to clear the path to success for as many people as possible. In order to clear the path to success, I had to understand what gets in the way of success. And in order to do that, I created the obstacles model, which we've been using throughout this video series as our framework. We've gone through every level of the obstacles model, and now we're at the deep level, one of the deepest, called needs. In the last couple of videos, we introduced you to what needs were, and we talked about how to identify your unmet needs. But now we run into a challenge because sometimes, even once you've identified your unmet needs and you know that you need to get those needs met, it can feel daunting and overwhelming. And this is one of the major things that prevents people from creating the life that they want. So the thing to face is that once we've identified our unmet needs, sometimes it feels near impossible to get them met because we need other people to get our needs met. Some needs we can get met on our own. For example, if we're thirsty, we can get water. If we're hungry, we can get food, at least now that we're grown up. But other needs are much more difficult to get met on our own, including all the needs related to love, belonging, and connection. Those involve other people. And all the needs involving having power in our social groups, or being empowered in our social groups, or having agency in our social groups, those involve other people as well. So we don't trust that we can depend on others to meet our needs, and that is actually smart. So I'm not here to preach blind trust. It's actually pretty smart that we don't trust others to meet our needs because others won't always be dependable when it comes to meeting our needs. However, there is a way to get your needs met even if you don't control the variables. And what I'd like to do is take you through an example. I call this example the successful salesperson example. Salespeople are in one of those unique professions where they don't have 100% control of their success. In order for salespeople to succeed, other people have to agree to buy their products. It puts them in a very similar position to any one of us with any kind of an unmet need. So it's good to kind of think, what's the difference between salespeople who are very successful and very confident versus salespeople who come across as needy and desperate and we really don't like working with at all? So a salesperson can't control if any one customer chooses to buy or not. And the significant thing there is any one customer. If you're an average salesperson, every time you talk to a customer, the state of mind that you're in is a scarcity state of mind, which is, I don't know if this person's going to buy from me. I have to make my quota. I don't know who else is going to buy from me. So here's my chance. I have to make this person buy. And the impact that that has on the potential customers is that the salesperson shows up as needy and desperate. And that's actually the same impact that we have on people when we really desperately need them to meet our needs. And we're kind of acting like they're the only person in the world to meet our needs. And that happens in a couple of areas, which I'll go into a little bit later in the video. But the best salespeople are in the same situation as those needy salespeople, but they're confident and they're not needy at all. Why is that? How do the best salespeople take responsibility for something they can't control at all? Well, I've known a couple good salespeople in my time. And what I've noticed is that they have a system. They believe in their product or service, and they believe in it so much that they know that they'll find people who could have good use for that product or service. And because they're confident in that, then really it's just they have to meet the right people and find the ones that are in need of their product. So they have a completely different view. It's not about, oh my gosh, this person has to buy so I can make my quota. It's, wow, I have such a great solution. I just have to find the people that have the problem. And if I talk to them, then there will be enough people that purchase this that I'll easily make my quota. So the salesperson that's successful sets up a system. They believe in their product or service, and I think that's important to note, but they don't trust that any one sale is going to go through. They work on multiple sales. They put their eggs in multiple baskets, and they're going to make their commission because enough people are going to give them what they need. And this is actually how it works with our emotional needs as well. So there's something else we do, and it's called needs blocking. So we actually block ourselves from receiving what we most desperately need. Now, why in the world would we do it? It seems so illogical. But there's a reason for it. And the reason is because we feel vulnerable when we open ourselves up to rejection. And we actually don't trust that people will give us what we most need. In fact, that's why it's an unmet need, is because we don't trust it. So because we don't trust that people will give us what we need, we tend to be very, very, let's say, on edge or suspicious when people give us something. But that creates a really weird dynamic in our lives. The general idea is, if we have unmet needs in the area of love and belonging, then when someone offers us love and belonging, we tend to be suspicious. And when someone offers us a little bit more of rejection, we tend to actually be more comfortable with that because that seems more realistic to us. The unfortunate thing, and there's a video online about how you're always going to marry someone who hurts you the same way that you were hurt when you were young. We're attracted to when we focus on people like our significant other or our boss, and we only count the need if it comes from those people, right? So we only count respect if it comes from our boss. So a lot of people could respect us, but we just go, oh, well, they're not our boss. Our boss is the one that needs to respect us. Or there's a lot of people that compliment us and appreciate us, but if our significant other isn't complimenting us and appreciating us, then we get upset about that. So there's this needs blocking thing. So just beware of that. Just notice if you're all hooked into one person and very angry about them not giving you what you need and needing them to change. This often happens with a significant other. We expect our intimate relationships to provide us with certain emotional needs, and we don't think for a minute that we can get those needs met elsewhere. And I would just, I guess, encourage you to think about what needs you could get elsewhere. And I'll give you an example. So in my relationship with my husband, I love to talk about deep, meaningful psychology type topics, the meaning of life and everything. I don't have those kinds of conversations with my husband. Now, at one point in my marriage, I had a conversation with someone that led me to believe that there was something wrong with my relationship with my husband because we didn't have these deep, intimate conversations. Well, he's just not a big communicator. But at the time, I didn't have confidence to know that. So I kept trying to pressure him to have these deep, intimate conversations. And every time we sat down to talk, he would get this deer in the headlights look because, uh-oh, now we're going to have this deep, intimate conversation. And I'm not good at it. And I can't stand it because he didn't feel like he was really good at having conversations and communicating. Just not his strength. And at some point, I gave up on it and I accepted it. And I decided, you know what? In the world of coaching, I have a lot of colleagues who love to have deep conversations about the meaning of life. I'm going to have those conversations with my colleagues and my friends. And that's how I'm going to fill up that need. And I'm going to have a better relationship with my husband that doesn't put pressure on him to be somebody he's not. And our relationship immediately changed for the better when that happened. So me putting an expectation on my husband to meet one of my needs made our relationship worse, not better. And as soon as I took the pressure off and accepted him for who he was and took responsibility for getting my needs met, then the dynamics of the relationship changed. And that's exactly what happens when we put pressure on our boss or our significant other to meet certain needs, and we feel like we have to have those needs met in that relationship, we are actually damaging that relationship because we are not accepting the person that we're in relationship with. We're placing an expectation on them that they be someone other than themselves. Now, the great paradox is once you take the pressure off and you allow the other person to be themselves, they actually do start giving you more of what you need because they're not being pressured and they can do it in their own way. And so that's really important to note. Huge dynamic in relationships that happens a lot. So it turns out that your relationship with yourself is key to getting your needs met. And that's because we tend not to be very nice to ourselves. And the way that we're not nice to ourselves is similar to the way that other people are not nice to us. And the way that other people are not nice to us is usually the way that we're not getting our needs met. And I'll give you an example. Usually, if you don't feel appreciated by others, there's a part of you, not all of you, but there's a part of you that doesn't appreciate or acknowledge yourself. Usually, if you shame yourself and judge yourself when you make mistakes, you will also notice other people criticizing you when you make mistakes. Now, it would seem like those things aren't related, but in fact, they are very much related. And as you develop a really positive relationship with yourself, the relationships that everyone else had with you tend to mirror it. If you want to experiment with this, I would say flooding yourself with whatever a best friend would give you tends to change your relationships with everyone. And that's a great experiment to have, to be your own best friend. I recently suggested to one of my clients to be as sweet to herself as any boyfriend could ever be. And she loved it. And she's working on it right now. That is a great thing to do when you're looking for a new relationship. One of the things that I most needed was reassurance and acceptance because I was petrified that people would be disappointed in me. So because I was petrified that people would be disappointed in me, I had to look in my relationship with myself to find where was I disappointed in myself. And I was disappointed in myself a lot. That is what had to change. I had to promise myself that I wouldn't be disappointed with myself. That's the key that changed everything, the pressure cycle, all of it. It's in your relationship with yourself. So this is one thing that you can start doing right away. Experiment, 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 and see what it does for you. Ultimately, identifying your needs. This is the most important work you can do. This is the answer to the question of what gets in the way when it comes to people creating the life that they want for themselves. It's because they have unmet needs and they're spending so much time just trying to survive, getting their needs met, that they don't have any energy left over to make a big change. So this is important work. Good luck with it. And of course, I'm here to support you. In our next video, we're going to go to the very bottom of the pyramid and look at the beliefs level. This will be extremely interesting, and I look forward to seeing you there.